We want to share the 3 biggest mistakes.
Yes, and the first biggest mistake that people make in setting goals is that they really don't go after the goal that they want. They think they want it, and so they jump in straight away and lose momentum very quickly because it's not really what they wanted.
Exactly. We have a look in our environment and we have a look at what other people have, we look at our managers and what they have, and we sense that that's something that we want to have, so we actually go after it. But if we're not clear about what it is that we really want, we get 2 things. The first thing is we get buyer's remorse. Like we go after that promotion, we go after the new shoes or the house or the boat, and once we get it, there is that sense of lack or sense of, that something's missing, and what that tells you is you really didn't want it in the first place.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of, I think I should go after that promotion, or I think I should lose that extra 5 pounds. And you really have to catch yourself. That is a very critical mistake that most people make. You've checked yourself in terms of, is this a should or is this something that I really want?
And the other thing that you get is you get demotivated. So in the process of going after your goal, there is a lot of struggle. Now, we're not saying that there is going to be a bit of challenge when you're going after goals, because otherwise you're just living the life that you normally live. There will be some challenges, but you don't want to have this sense of real struggle. And that's what people actually get when they're going after goals that they don't really want, okay? So the first thing is go after something that you really want, that is meaningful for you. How do you actually work that out? Well, we want it to align to our values. So this is the second biggest mistake people make. We don't align it to our values. Now, if we don't align our goals to our top 3 values, I'm telling you, you're not going to get there, or it's going to be another big struggle to get there.
And so you might be thinking to yourself, so how do I know what my biggest values are? And it's pretty easy. We've actually got a process for working out your biggest values, but that comes later in another video. But you can work out or get a sense of what your values are by what you surround yourself with, what you're interested in, what you seem to talk about. That will give you a sense of what your values are. Where you spend most of your time will give you a sense of what your values are.
Exactly, and values, or our definition of values, is what is something that is important to you. So for example, some of the questions, like what kind of books do you actually read? If you were listening to a radio program, what is one of those topics of conversation that would allow you to actually reach over and turn the dial? When you're going into a newsagent and you're having a look at magazine titles, what are those things that you're actually drawn to? And so these are the things that will help you define what your values are.
And I think it's an important distinction, Jan, to acknowledge that values are something in terms of what is already in your life. A lot of people think that values must be this higher calling, like my value is integrity or honesty, which are great values to have, but you've got to check, so is integrity and is honesty something that I continually live out, or is this an aspirational value? What we're talking about in terms of values are what is a value in my life. How could I prove that this is a value? I think that's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose the other thing with values, that if you want to shift a value, you want to bring it into your top 3 or 4, because that way you're actually going to go after that goal.
So why don't we give people an example of what might be a value and how they can align that to something, a goal that they're going to go after.
Okay, so a value might be financial success, but that may not be in your top value. Your top values might be health and well-being, it might be family relationships, it might be spirituality, and you're struggling financially. So how can you actually lift that value to be in your top 3? So one of the things that I would do is have a look in the way in which I structure my life in health and well-being in a way that can support me in my financial success and the financial value, because you want to actually use the skills and habits that you have in the values that work for you into that area of your life.
Just like one of your clients decided, because that was such an important part of their life, health and well-being, went down the personal training route because they were able to increase their financial success by doing something that aligned to their values.
Yeah. Okay, the other thing that the biggest mistake that people make when they're setting their goals is they jump into the how-tos too quickly. And the how-tos is they have a goal, they know what they want, and then they jump into, okay, so what do I need to do now? How am I going to do it? How am I going to get the finances? How am I going to engage all the people I need to get this goal?
What are the resources? I haven't got the resources. And you can just see by how we're talking, it becomes a bit overwhelming for people. And what we absolutely encourage people to do is to forget about the how-to right now. In the early stages of goal setting, just focus on the what. Very, very important to focus on the what is it that I'd like to achieve, not the how I'm going to get there.
That's right, because we want to create and develop a way of being. So stay in your imagination. And one of the things that most people talk about in goal setting is imagine the outcome already happening. And so that means visualizing. Now, I'm not talking about visualizing 90 times a day, once every hour of the day. Just do it once or twice a day. Do it once in the morning and once in the evening. Close your eyes, get rid of all the distractions, and have a sense of what it is going to feel like. What are some of the conversations that you might have? What are some of the ways that you would perhaps hold yourself? What are some of the things that you're going to hear when you've achieved your goal?